Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and I'm going to respond to a question from a viewer, Carl, who has his bail apart and wants to know how to get it back together and also what the sequence is here in terms of the pieces and parts. So that's what this video is going to be. It's the Mitchell 302, and it's a bail, how to set the bail, and how to sequence the pieces that are in there. So for this exercise, I'm going to use a Mitchell tool. You've seen me use the one for the 300, and here's the one for the 302, the larger one. If you're fortunate enough to get it in a package, it says the saltwater Mitchell tool, and that's for the 302 series and so on. And the reason I'm going to use it is the nut on the back of this bail here has a split over the threaded rod, and they actually make this little forked screwdriver for that. Now don't fear if you can't get it done that way, use 2 small screwdrivers to work on it. But at any rate, I want to take this off first because we're going to show Carl how the sequence went on this. And Mitchell came up with these little devices, which are kind of fun. You can find them on eBay. They're still fairly common. I know sometimes there's more trouble than not with these, but in this case you can find them there. And like everything else I'm going to do, I have a little parts tray. In this case it's a little food container, some takeout somewhere, and we'll just put it in there. So first off is the nut. I'll lay them out in sequence here. Then there is a washer. Then you have the bail arm. Then you have the line guide. Then you have the ferrule, or the little piece to the to it. So that's the way it goes in terms of lineup. Nut, washer. Probably do that better on a piece of paper. So it goes nut, washer, bail arm, line guide, and a little ramp that allows the line to climb up the side of your bail trigger and then into that. Okay, so that's part 1. So then part 2, he's got the bail arm disassembled, but the trip lever, and he wants to know how to get that assembly back on. And quite honestly, that's a question I'm asked an awful lot, because these things, folks do take them off and then they kind of stare into space. So let's take this off. I'll show you how it comes off and then how we set it back on. Let's take the main screw off of this. Pull the assembly. So the assembly is nothing but a bail arm, a large spring, and if you'll notice on the large spring you have, in this case, 2 points. They're coming out at 90-degree angles, and they load into the hole there and a hole on the back of the bail arm. Now, important to note on the back of the arm is this stop. That's the piece that most folks get hung up on trying to get this back into play. So what you do is you load this bail arm in the off position. That is this way. If you try to do it any other way, you're going to have the spring tension too tight. It's not going to work. So generally what I'll do is I'll put the spring into the hole in the back of the bail arm first. And these are 2 90-degree angle springs. Doesn't matter too much. This one just nests inside of the carrier. Just trying to get that in. And you can see when you have it in, just press the rest of the assembly into the case. I hope this is showing on the video, but you can look through the side here and you can see that the pin is in that hole there. Next up then, you want to get to the off position. So the off position in this case is going to be this side as such. Like I said, if you try and load it any other way, you're going to put too much tension on the spring, which I just dropped out. Let's try this again. These take patience, and a lot of folks get intimidated by it, I guess. Is that the right word? Because it does take a little bit of patience. to get this done. There, so we're back in there. Look for the hole, and I like to start this, even though we're going to be in the off position, which is this, I like to start it before so I have no tension on that spring as we pull it in. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull the arm back here. There's an arm over here that's going to lock in. I'll pull that back with the one hand, lock the spring in, and then you need to advance the bail while holding the spring in until it locks. So we've got that set now, and you have to hold tight on this, put the screw in, the minimum, get it started, and then that screw will center. And generally you know you're in good stead when you can see the little button sticking out here. Then you're set. So you just load it down. I'm just going to trip it internally here. Load it down. Trip it internally. So that's it. In the off position, load this first, nest in the spring, attach the back of the spring into the hole that sits about here. Press down on this while clearing the stop here with that little back end of the bail arm. Tighten down the screw, and you're good. Here it is. So I hope that helps you, Carl. So let's go back to your second part then. Your second part was you have this bail and you wanted to make sure that you got the bail right properly again. So you have the spring out here, so take that spring out first. We're going to take the back end of the bail wire and put it in the hole on top. And then we're going to put the screw in, and the screw is going to hold that 90-degree level of the bail wire in place. And then we'll come over to the other side. So the other side, you have the threaded part of the bail. You're going to put the angle piece in first, and that angle piece is going to catch on this crook here, like that. Then you're going to put the line guide in. Now, there's two sides of this line guide. There's a narrow side and a wide flange side. You want the narrow side mating up. Then you're going to put that into the holder. Then you're going to put the washer on the outside of that bail arm. And then you're going to use that threaded screw. Sometimes my fingers are too big for some of these jobs, and that's what we're doing here. There we go. So I get it started. Now again, if you don't have this tool, then go ahead and just use two small screwdrivers, one on each side, and kind of do it that way. It's also a very small hex screw, so there is a chance that you could, nah, I don't think so. I was going to say use a small ratchet, but it doesn't look like you have the clearance there. That's it. So then you'll have your bail set, and it'll trip as it hits those spots. Okay, hope that helps you, Carl. That's how to set the bail arm for the 302, and it's also the sequence of the line in terms of nut, washer, line guide, and ramp for the line guide. It's still a little loose. It can be tightened up a little bit, but that's it. That's the way to make this happen. I hope that's been helpful, and I hope that sets you on your way to restoring your 302. There we go. Now we're tight. All right. Very good. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it. Always looking for more subscribers, so please subscribe if you want to see more. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Thank you for watching.